It lasted just 72 seconds. A single, sharp pulse, louder than any noise, clearer than static, broke the silence of space. It was August 15, 1977. In Ohio, the Big Ear telescope was scanning a quiet, empty patch of sky. Then, something arrived. A signal, precise, narrow, and powerful, suddenly appeared. It was so perfect it didn't make sense. The machine printed the data line by line. Astronomer Jerry Eman stood watching. He circled a strange sequence of characters. Then, with a red pen, he wrote down a single word. That word would give the signal its name and define the mystery that followed. But what if that moment was never meant to happen? And then it was gone. No follow-up, no repetition, just one signal, one try, as if someone or something had called out and hung up. 40 years have passed, and we still don't know where it came from. Was it a glitch, a comet, or something else entirely? A message meant to be found just once. In this episode, we trace the footsteps of the strangest signal ever recorded. And we ask the question no one has answered. If the universe spoke just once, did we miss our only chance to respond? On August 15, 1977, a radio telescope called Big Ear, in Ohio, was quietly scanning the sky. It was part of a bold mission known as SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The goal was clear, yet almost impossible: to detect any radio signal that could come from intelligent life beyond Earth. And that night, something arrived. The telescope recorded every signal on a continuous roll of paper. Most of the time, the printout showed nothing unusual, just natural cosmic noise. But suddenly, on what looked like a normal line, a strange code appeared. 6EQ5. It was a powerful spike, nearly 10 times stronger than normal. The signal lasted exactly 72 seconds, the maximum time Big Ear could track one point in the sky before Earth's rotation moved it away. And during that brief moment, the signal remained constant, steady, unshaken. The strange signal didn't go unnoticed. It was seen by Jerry Eman, a SETI volunteer and professor at Ohio State University. He reviewed the printout and froze. A sequence like that wasn't supposed to happen. He circled it with a red pen, and next to it he wrote just one word: wow. That simple reaction gave the signal its name, but what he captured was much more than a curious moment. It wasn't noise, it wasn't interference, and it was never detected again. Since that day, the wow signal has remained a mystery. A brief transmission, a perfect pattern, a sound from nowhere that never repeated. Scientists have searched for decades, but no explanation has lasted. It became more than data. It became a question, one that still waits for an answer. A whisper from the dark that might have been meant for us. It lingers in scientific reports, documentaries, and late-night conversations among astronomers, not because it was loud, but because it was perfect. Because it came once and never again. What if it wasn't a coincidence? What if that whisper was waiting for someone to listen? From the moment the signal was captured, scientists around the world began searching for natural explanations. The first theory was the most cautious. Maybe it was a simple glitch or some kind of interference from Earth. But the data was intact, clear, consistent with a real source far away. And Big Ear wasn't just any telescope. Its accuracy had been tested again and again. And this signal didn't match any known terrestrial frequency. Some suggested it could have been a reflection, perhaps from a satellite or an aircraft. But there were no flights recorded in that area when the signal was detected. Others thought it might be a comet, since some comets emit weak radiation when they pass through a telescope's view. But no comet was in that sky position in 1977. Years later, researchers tried to revive the comet theory. pointing to Comet 266P/Christensen. But even the authors of that theory couldn't reproduce the result. The mystery remained, and the more they searched, the more the signal seemed to resist any natural explanation. What made things even stranger was the frequency itself. The signal had been detected at 1420 megahertz, a number every astronomer knows well. It's called the hydrogen line. It's considered a universal marker, a clean channel, one that's free from interference or human-made noise. It's exactly the kind of frequency someone might use if they were trying to be heard across the stars. But here's the strangest part. The signal didn't come from a galaxy, or a star, or even a planet. It came from empty space, a patch of sky with nothing in it. No known celestial objects. No reason for anything to be transmitting from that location. In theory, that spot should be completely silent. The more researchers tried to explain the signal, the more contradictions they found. One theory would fall apart, and another would rise. But none of them held for long. The pattern was clear. Every time science tried to get closer to the answer, the mystery slipped away again. It was almost like the signal was designed to stay one step ahead, to provoke, to tease, or maybe to remind us of something, that not everything in the universe can be explained, not yet. The wow signal has become a symbol of that truth. Scientists still debate it. Papers are still published about it. But no one can say for certain what we heard. A random event? A rare cosmic coincidence? Or something else entirely? Sometimes, the most haunting mysteries are the ones that remain unanswered. And the most important signals are the ones we never get to hear again. From the moment all natural explanations fell apart, only one question remained, the one no one wanted to say out loud. What if the so-called WO signal was, in fact, an attempt to make contact? From the very beginning, this idea was at the heart of the SETI project, the search for intelligence beyond Earth. The premise was simple. If there are other civilizations in the cosmos, they might someday try to communicate, and if they did, they'd likely choose a universal language, the language of science. The signal that was detected came at 1420 megahertz. That number is not random. It's known as the hydrogen line, the most common element in the universe. Scientists at SETI had long believed that if an advanced civilization wanted to transmit a message across space, they would pick this frequency. It's clean, clear, free from interference, a kind of neutral channel, where any unexpected noise would immediately stand out. But it wasn't just the frequency. The signal was narrow, steady, constant. It didn't wobble, it didn't repeat, yet it felt intentional, like a single ping, launched into the darkness hoping someone, somewhere, was listening. And someone was. The Big Ear radio telescope was locked onto that patch of sky. In that exact moment, Earth was listening, and the universe replied. To this day, that hypothesis remains unproven, but also unrefuted. There is no hard evidence that it came from alien intelligence, but no natural explanation has ever made more sense. And maybe that's the most unsettling truth. Not the certainty that we are alone, but the real possibility that we are not. That someone, somewhere, once tried to say, "We are here." Right after the detection of the WOW signal, astronomers across the world tried to find it again. Radio telescopes pointed right back at the same patch of sky, same frequency, same position. But what they heard was nothing. No trace, no echo. The signal had vanished, as mysteriously as it had appeared. Like someone knocked at the door and left before we could open it. In the decades that followed, technology evolved, more sensitive equipment came. The Arecibo radio telescope, the Very Large Array, and more recently the Allen Telescope Array connected to the SETI project. They all scanned the same corner of the universe and the areas around it, but nothing was ever found again. Some phenomena live on for decades, untouched, defying logic. The WOW signal is one of them. It didn't just vanish from the instruments, it became part of science's imagination. It appears in papers, astronomy books, and forums about intelligent life, always surrounded by silence and doubt. It wasn't forgotten, it's remembered precisely because we still can't explain it. With each new generation of radio telescopes, hope is reborn. Projects like Breakthrough Listen now scan the skies with more sensitivity than we've ever had, yet the 1977 signal remains alone, unmatched, untouched. No similar noise has ever been heard again, not even something close, as if that moment had been reserved, as if that single minute was chosen. And it's this silence, lasting over 40 years, that still haunts us. Because if it was an error, why didn't it happen again? And if it wasn't, why only once? The lack of answers became its own kind of answer, like an echo that never returns, a question thrown into the void. Still alive because the void never replied. Maybe the real message was never in the signal itself, but in how we felt trying to understand it. Fear, curiosity, loneliness, hope. Maybe that's the purpose. To remind us that we are small, but not necessarily alone. Not every mystery is meant to be solved. Some exist only to remind us that there are limits to what we know, and that the unknown still watches us, in silence. The WO signal is still there, recorded, cataloged, real. A moment lost in time that never happened again, and yet it haunts us. Perhaps because what we're truly seeking is not the answer, but the certainty that someone is out there. In a universe so vast, the greatest illusion would be believing we're alone. But maybe the second greatest is thinking we're ready to listen. The signal came, we were listening, and today, we still wait. If you also believe that the universe holds secrets, and that some stories deserve to be told with respect, science, and reverence, then subscribe to CuriousVerse. Here, curiosity never ends, and every episode is an invitation to see the world and the sky through a different lens.